Indrid here, 3v3 Argus Desert Gate blue team. We have 2nd Corporal Cretella as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive commander, fights melee to start off, has a bunch of spells. Alongside is Rise as a Chaos Lord, durable and destructive commander, walks through cover and cannot be suppressed, fights melee, good offense and disruption. And rounding up blue team we have me as a Plague Champion, starts range combat, can get melee weapons, good utility and damage potential, can build structures and repair. Red team, max power, is a Force commander, offensive melee, quite versatile, can tank, disrupt and even support a little. Floid alongside is a Raven alpha, tunneling commander, great mobility and some good offense, starts off range combat. And Sneakus Peekus rounding out red team is an Apothecary, support commander, fights melee by default, can get a ranged weapon, has a target heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Classic Argus Desert Gate then, this contested VP on the east side, natural for red in the north, natural for blue in the south, and Floid is now defending his VP against Rise's Chaos Lord, who's backing off. Floid going for his usual double termagants into Spore Mines. Blue team taking east, which is all chaos of course. Doom bolts going in from long range. Sneakus Peekus happy to sit in cover so far. Rise also has his Chaos Space Marines here and his Heretics. And here comes Floyd to assist. Sneakus Peekus with a full retreat there, that was very odd. Floyd is going to engage by himself. Here come the Spore Mines. Can he get in amongst those Heretics? He can get in amongst them, and that was a devastating detonation there. Suppress and damage nearby troops when they detonate. That includes allies. They do not mind who they are damaging. Spore Mines. 500, 489 termagants with just 2 models. Retreat finally. Chaos Space Marines were chasing there. These termagants engage or get in the tunnel. Looks like they've got into the tunnel. Just a replay bug where they appear to be outside it still. Chaos Space Marines now meleeing the tunnel. Max power taking this central power node and then retreats. I have gone for Chaos Space Marines into some Raptors. Chaos Space Marines always a solid choice, and Raptors can jump in amongst. The Tactical Marines also help me counter any Devastators that Max might go for on this very narrow west side. I managed to take out the Scouts in the first engagement. I think Max was trying to get shotguns out and get a blast and then retreat, but he couldn't quite do it in time. I was quite lucky, finished them off in retreat with the Plague Bolter damage over time. Sneakus Peekus using a Raven Alpha tunnel there to get his Marines to the front lines, and they're going to take the east side or at least decap it. And Sneakus Peekus with Assault Marines, we might see his famous double Assault Marine build here. Not sure what happened on the east side, so I have no idea what the players got. Heretics on the field for Cretella with Aspiring Champion. Rise also has an Aspiring Champion for his Heretics. Turns them into a pretty vicious melee squad in tier 1, especially versus other melee squads. Force Commander with his Power Sword for Max. You often see Max go for the Power Sword in tier 1 and then get either the Fist or Hammer in tier 2. Not shy of changing weapons out. Sneakus Peekus capping the east side and pushing power alongside Floyd, and blue team completely lose it here. Warriors on the field for Floyd in their default melee state, heavy infantry unit that emit a synapse. They also charge, or rather leap, into melee combat and disrupts. Raptors jumping in, these are Rises suppressing when they land. Big AoE suppression they let off. Great jump unit for Chaos. Not as tough as Assault Marines though, and they need some support here. Warriors getting focused down from Floyd, and 2 of them go down. You see the synaptic backlash knocking back and damaging all of these termagants. Ouch. Synapse is so dangerous, especially on Warriors in tier 1 getting into melee. Floyd will need to be careful with them. Even if he gets a Barbed Strangler, those Raptors will be able to jump the Barbed Strangler and put them under pressure. Warriors, of course, in the mod can get a Barb Strangler and then change to Adrenal Glands in tier 2, which is something Floid does quite often. Managed to push off Max Power on the west side. Max Power now has some Assault Marines, but they're up against my Aspiring Champion Heretics, which can do some serious damage to Assault Marines in tier 1. Have the Mucus Discharge for my Plague Marines. 429, 476. .429, 476, 1-to-1 cap, and I completely wiped this power on the west side. Chaos Sorcerer taking the east side. Everyone's still tier 1, quite a long tier 1 here. 2-to-1 now for blue, still very close though. Chaos Lord of Rise taking out some scouts mid, those were Sneakus Peekus, and capping this wreck point, or rather decapping it. Here comes Max pushing me off his power alongside Floid, and he's gonna whack stuff and perhaps decap this wreck point, maybe even push power, get some flamer for his tax. Sneakus Peekus with his Tactical Marine Flamer loves to use these guys. Did not go double SM, going straight into tier 2. Have some Tzeentch worship infiltrating these units, which is not only good for hiding but also gives a 20% damage reduction to range damage when you are partially revealed, as it's called. So a very versatile worship that Tzeentch has, forcing off Sneakus Peekus, not wanting to mess with those Aspiring Champion Heretics. Assault Marines can get the upper hand on them in tier 2 though, with Merciless Strike can really hurt Heretics. Ravener shooting up the Chaos Lord, who is coming to this west side, and he's going to harass Max Power stuff. If he doesn't die, Killed a Weak was going to miss, and now he retreats. One generator up here for red, and they have 2 up over here. Getting hit though by Heretics. We have some Eternal War Chaos Space Marines for Cretella. There's double Chaos Space Marines, both with Eternal War. Rise also with Eternal War, and so am I. And I'm mid capping, or decapping rather, this power node. Another tunnel going up for Raven Alpha. He now automatically gets out of his tunnel, as he did in retail at the start. Merciless Strike on those Heretics. The Sergeant ASM putting in some hurt now. Power Sword onto that Chaos Marine Aspiring Champion and takes them out. Rise very slow to retreat them and loses his Raptors as well. That was devastating engagement. Now only has Chaos Space Marines. 417, 429. Rise not happy. Raven Alpha shooting up some Chaos Space Marines here. These guys are in cover, and Bloodletter's now on the way for Rise. Great choice versus Space Marines in general, and can leap in, or rather warp in, and tie up that plasma cannon. I'm now pushing mid, capping up stuff. Here's a Zone Throat from Floyd getting out the tunnel, out shooting the crap out of my Heretics. Run away, Indrid. There we go. One more shot might have wiped the squad, or at least all of the Heretic models, and loads of stuff getting out. Use a heal and run away. There we go. Now it's Max Power using the tunnel. Tyranids now eating a power node. We have Adrenal Gland Warriors giving a melee synapse to these Hormagaunts, boosting their health by 75% and their melee skill by 10. Apothecary with the Anointed Power Axe. Armor of Purity on the way. Zone Throat Artillery unit for Tyranids has a health regeneration aura and an artillery shot that doesn't need to travel and doesn't do friendly fire. It's a psychic attack, and they're hitting power again, and this is not even a noded power. We have Mark of Khorne Chaos Space Marines for Rise, Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines for Cretella. In fact, he has 2 of them. and some Havocs as well. Need to be very careful of the zone throw. They're back at base in a way. The Assault Marines jumping in for Sneakus Peekus. Big plasma cannon hit. Friendly fire on those warriors. Ouch. And 391, 425, 2-1 cap for red. Sneakus Peekus had a very strange bug where he doesn't have his healing aura on his Apothecary. Apparently it came and went throughout the game. Very, very strange and unfortunate bug for him. And he's going to go down to these mark off corner CSM. Ouch, that was painful. Chaos Sorcerer, what does he have? He has Vestments of the Warp. Double Marco Zenith CSM. Bad news for Tyranids, and Floid lost a lot of stuff there. Friendly fire of the plasma was bad. West side kicking off. We have Raptors from me. Chaos Space Marine trying to back off, and there is a Doom Blast. Very nice Merciless Strike hitting the Heretics and my Plague Marines. I got Plague Marines because I thought Max was going to go for a Dreadnought first out the gate in tier 2, but he did not. Gonna finish off these Assault Marines. I tried a Doom Blast, but it Doom Blasted a Heretic that was way back, and they get away with about 17 hit points or so. 364, 418. Mark of Corn CSM for Rise. Double Mark of Zinch for Cretella. Very solid Chaos Space Marine base. And max power, and again, now getting a plasma cannon. Sneakus Peekus already has his. Floyd, I think, will think again before getting some more melee units with that plasma cannon around. He does have the Corrosive Devourer and Regenerate, making the Revenant Alpha quite tough and very dangerous at range with that ranged weapon. Cretella in mid with some worshipped Havocs, but gets caught by Floyd. Zone Throat hit, and now Hormagaunts in there almost completely wiping his Heretics. Heretics turned around there. Very, very strange retreat, and they are wiped out. Max power now locked on his power. Put Touch of Noggle on my Heretics and wipe his Assault Marines. That was nasty. He now has a plasma cannon though, so I'm backing the hell off. Kitted out my Plague Champion in melee. Gave him Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, and Mucus Discharge. So he's very tough, very slow, and pretty dangerous in combat. Touch of Noggle lost for ages. As you can see, they're just about wearing off. Here is a Capillary Tower. That is a new global that Tyranids have. It's called Infestation. Spawns a tower which doesn't do any damage, but does knock back. Also provides 5% damage mitigation and 25% suppression resistance, only to Tyranids though. So a nice little global. Costs 75 red for Tyranids, available tier 1. And Floyd forced off. 311, 393, and here comes Max with a Thunderhammer and Teleport of Force Commander. Trying to keep my Raptors alive. I back them off. Still putting pressure on the west side. East side though is kicking off big time. Some Worship Bloodletters who are phased out. Warp Shift, it's called, I believe. Plasma Cannon in the building. Nicely done from Sneakus Peekus, getting a big hit on his Marco Zinch CSM. Assault Marines also jumping in, but they are backing off. I think Vanguard Veterans would be good in this game, jumping in amongst those double Marco Zinch guys and Power Weapon on their armor all day long. Floyd makes my Plague Champion run away. 283, 393, in fact a full retreat from me. Now back at base, healing up, and I go tier 3, as does Sneakus Peekus. Max power, going for a Whirlwind artillery vehicle for Space Marines, available in tier 2. I believe it's 350, 80 or something like that, so it's not cheap. Really nice disruption from long range. 271, 393, still a 1-to-1 cap. Havocs set up, suppressing this Tyranid blob. Revenant Alpha does get off a volley though. One mistake players often make is thinking that suppression makes units fire slower. It actually makes them reload slower, so their volley still goes off at the same rate. They just fire their volleys less often. And what is this blue buff here on his Tyranids? No idea what that is. Very strange. Is that a Zinch thing? No idea. Drain life on the Apothecary. Fully kitted out Chaos Lord with Demonic Visage, which now passively reduces damage of nearby units. Doesn't need to hit anything. And the Blood Maul. Really nasty power weapon that can disrupt like crazy. Plague Marines, sorry, on the field for Rise as well. They go by retreat though. 271, 357, a 1-to-1 cap again. East side constantly shifting. Chaos Lord eventually persuaded to leave. Marcus needs CSM not pushing mid. Raptors now have an aspiring champion for me. Gives them a Lightning Claw member. There's Plasma Cannon in this building, an absolute pain. I have no garrison counters on the field, and here comes Floid. 264, 357. I've already used Pestilent Strike, so I can't use it on this Tyranid blob, but there is a Noxious Cloud. Very, very bad news for Tyranids, and that was painful for Floyd. Loses Termagants. Noxious Cloud is so killy. I'm not too big of a fan of that. I think the Plague Champion should be more about debilitating his opponent than wiping out tons and tons of models, but that's just me. And we have some decent map control now, blue team. 242, 357. What was that? Bloodletters teleporting in. And here we see Angel of Death from Sneakus Peekus. Much more useful generally, I think, with 50% damage reduction, knockback immunity, and a much longer duration. Assault Marines caught in melee by Bloodletters, but they can only get a few hits off, and they survive. Bloodletters warp shifting out. Nice play from Rise. Here comes Tyranids out of a tunnel, and these guys have stopped moving, and he's going to lose his squad now. Not so good play from Rise. And they're still staying in melee and do not lose a model. Wow. Very, very lucky. 222, 349. Looked like they did lose a model there. Sneakus Peekus now has a Predator on the way. I am going for a great unclean one. Rise has a Chaos Predator. Max and Floyd now going tier 3. Red team had so much pressure on this power, which is why we were able to out-tech them. Devastators on the field for Max. Has some rocket launcher. Tactical Marines as well, or missile launcher as it's called. Is going to steal that Western power. 222, 1 or 332, sorry. Chaos Lord retreats, level 5, level 3 Chaos Sorcerer, fully kitted out, also Rod of Warpfire, Vestments of the Warp, and Tome of Subjugation. Plague Champion level 5, Force Commander level 2, Raven Alpha level 3, Apothecary level 3. Assault Marines get a heal. What level are these guys? Level 3. Tax of Sneakus Peekus level 2 now has this Predator. Marco Zinch. Where are the Marco Zinch? Chaos Space Marines, they're coming back out of base. We see some Chaos Terminators for Cretella. These guys now demoralize nearby enemies when they kill stuff, which is a really nice mechanic for them. 222, 301. It's now a 2-to-1 for blue. Despite all this map control we've had, we're still behind in VPs. Here comes the great unclean one. Trying to smack stuff inside this building. Whirlwind suppressing this blob. Sorry, disrupting this blob. Plague Champion now goes after it, but Max sees and backs off, and I don't think I'm able to do any damage, because here comes the Force Commander teleporting in, getting hit with that Thunderhammer. I get some rear armor hits on the Whirlwind, well at least one, and now forced to retreat. Pestilent Strike saved me. Great Unclean One picks up a Devastator, chucks him away, not able to finish off the squad though. Plague Marines will try and cap. Look at it all kicking off on the east side. Predator was snared by something and is taken out. Plague Marines snared it. And full retreat from Floid. Assault Marines with a single model. Can they get away? It looks like they can. 1-to-1 cap. Forced Commander teleporting into trouble. Has some Terminators now, does max power. Just trying to prevent me from capping here with this disruptive hammer. Needs to be careful though, goes down trying to protect this VP. 205-291. Plasma Devastators backing off the east side. We have an autocannon on the Chaos Terminators for Cretella and Rise, who has tons and tons of red, over 800, has a Chaos Predator of Marco Zinch on the way. Carnifex now on the way for Floid. Sneakus Peekus is tier 3, but has a fair amount of upkeep, no sign of Terminators. Red team now losing his power, and look at the map control for us. Did not realise they did so well on the east side. Here's a Venom Cannon Carnifex. These things very, very tough and very dangerous in the current meta, even though they got a nerf in the latest build. Still seen as very, very strong, especially shooting up Terminators, which they won't have to do in this game. Well, they can shoot up Chaos Terminators if they want, but they're on the east side. Big engagement over this natural VP, and there is Imperial Abyss from Rise. Angels of Death goes off, and Scouts capping despite being right in the Imperial Abyss. Angel of Death seemed to stop a lot more than 50% of damage there. 205-184. That was the Bioplasma from the Venom Cannon Carnifex, I think. Chaos Terminators are here. Can they kill something and demoralize stuff? Nope, they are stuck on the tank. Great Unclean One still stomping around. Now has a passive AoE damage over time effect, which is so awesome and fluffy for him. Look at this map control now, completely locking red team back. 205-151, finally getting some VP superiority as well. That's cannon hits going off on this Carnifex, trying to finish it. Bloodletter's overextending though. These are Rises, and they now phase out and back off. Here comes Floyd, he's not very happy. Torrent of Formation from Floyd is going to knock these heretics off the cap, almost wiping them out completely with the central spire. Red team pushing back, but it's pretty much all over at this point, I think. I don't think they retake their VP again. Ormagaunts chasing these heretics. Can they finish them off? No. Floyd is going to try and cap. Assault Marines jumping in to disrupt. Or not. They've been subjugated by the Chaos Sorcerer. And now go after their own allied Ormagaunts and finish them off as well. 205-82 is a 2-to-1 cap now for blue. Max power going up against Chaos on the west side with level 3 tactical marines. Terminators of course cannot level, backing off. The Great Unclean One is getting quite low on health, out of worship range. Forced Commander in amongst some Plague Marines goes down. Level 7 Plague Champion, level 7 Chaos Lord, level 6 Chaos Sorcerer, level 3 Force Command, level 3 Revenant Alpha, level 5 Apothecary, fully kitted out in the end, Armor of Purity and improved medical equipment. And there is the concede from Red. Was close for a while, especially the back and forth on the east, but eventually Chaos able to power through. Some more Chaos Terminators hit the field right at the end for me. Wasn't able to see them in action very much. Thanks for watching guys. I'll see you next time.